Hello, hello, hello. I don't know why it looks so weird right now, but it looks like such a weird angle, huh? Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it looks so weird, but hmm, maybe I should. I wonder. Because I want to have good circulation. That's why I tried to like raise it, but hold on. Maybe I should do something else. Hold on, everybody. 1 second. I know what I will do. I will make a little fixer upper. 1 sec. All right, that goes over there. Then we can put this one right here. And then that should keep the circulation of the computer good. The circulation in the nation. There. Oh, that's a better angle, isn't it? It actually looks like we're having a conversation. Okay, hold on. All right. All right. I'm not liking my hair today. I don't know why. I think it's overly curled. I like a little bit of a soft wave in my hair, but this is not what I was going for. Okay, let me have you know. It's been a long time, eh? That we haven't gotten together. I miss you guys. I miss you. Shadu, be quiet today, okay? I'm trying to be nice today and don't mess it up. Hi, Zealand. Hi. It's the first time I've seen you in pink. And the last time, let me tell you, this is your first time seeing me in pink and your last time. It's not happening again. Okay? It only happened because the weather was sunny. You look fine. Oh, thanks. Sometimes Aaron. Hi, girl. Hi, Aaron. I'm not going to call you Aaron. I'm going to call you Arun. Hi, Arun. Shadow sunglasses. No, 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 no. See, I don't go outside. I'm just saying I enjoyed the sun, but I was not outside. You guys know I can't go outside in the sun. I just can't do it. Fion, he says, it looks weird because you're in sepia or black and white. I'm not in either. This is my normal color. This is the normal color of my life. Go to the naughty corner. Go to the naughty corner. Because, I'm trying to like have some self-confidence about myself. And then you're telling me that I'm in sepia mode. This is my color. All right. So what? You, so you think that if you see me in real life, you're going to see me in sepia. You, I'm warm. Let me put the fan towards me. Hold on 1 second. Do it. Okay. Did you guys see how I literally just fell over? I was like, I'm going to put the fan towards me. I literally just threw myself. Okay, anyway, okay. I'll stop. Okay, let's begin. Isn't it? Isn't it? It's sunny, isn't it? It's gonna rain, isn't it? You don't like it, isn't it? I'll never compliment again. Yeah, please don't. Please don't. Because I'm not good at accepting compliments. And I thought you guys already knew that. I thought you guys already knew. I'm not good at accepting compliments. I'm just not. Ask Samael. Carrie says, I wear sunglasses at night to see the visions in my mind. Yeah, yeah. That's the same way why I wear AirPods and headphones when there's no music so I can hear the people in my brain. Okay, Fionn, okay. He's like, if you don't relax, your hair is fine. Okay, all right, we're moving on. Guys, I haven't seen you all in a very, very long time. And I'm sorry for taking such a long break, but I had to get myself together too because you guys need to understand something. The weather is starting to change. And although I like to accept the warm weather for like a couple of weeks, in a couple of weeks more, my depression will show up. Okay. So, me having to deal with the change of time, the change of the weather, and so on and so forth, it takes me a minute to get my groove on. I gotta get my groove on. Okay, get my groove. So it takes me a minute to get into my groove. So there's gonna be times when I'm thrown off, and that's just the way it is around this time of the year. Anybody who's known me for more than a year knows how I am when it comes to spring and summer. I'm typically not that available because I hate it. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. So Lepo says it is a 32 Fahrenheit out here. That's my kind of weather. All right, so here we go. I have an idea for today, and I need to speak to you all. My idea is this. I would like us to have an open panel because I proposed a question to all of you. Look in the title. The title says, are the elders out of touch with the reality of today's world? That is the question I'm going to propose to you all when I open the panel, and I want to actually hear you all respond to it. I have my own reasons of why I'm posing that question, and it has partly to do with politics because of Elon Musk and Trump, how, the things that they're doing and how people are reacting to it, and how bad things are getting when it comes to Tesla and all the people who are very upset, and they think that attacking random Teslas somehow affects Elon Musk. So people think that if they attack random people's Teslas, that somehow that's going to affect Elon Musk. Yeah, well, Minuka, exactly. Teslas have cameras, and this is like the worst type of car to attack. Of all vehicles to attack, you attack the one car that has a camera running at all times. Stupid, just stupid. And the other thing is, I wanted to ask you guys that question about the elders because I have my reasons. We'll get it all sorted. But hold on, there was a question about it. Wait a second. One second. I'm reading. Dr. M says depression is a biatch. Schizo says, like you on Lapiv. Stop it. Schizo, go to the naughty corner. Go to the naughty corner. That wasn't me. That's not me on Lapiv. That's not me. That was somebody that I used to know. That's not me. That's not me. Your Honor, you don't have any proof it was me. That's not me. Oh, Zealage. He says, there's only 3 things I like about summer: fireflies, fireworks, and summer fruits. I get it. Or am I just AI? That's the question I was looking for. How old is an elder? An elder is anyone that is older than you, technically. Technically, an elder is anyone that's older than you. But when I say elder, I guess I mean people who were born before millennials. No, before 1980. Yeah, because when did computers start really being everywhere? I would say 1980 is when computers started to be in every office, and then you had the home computer and so on and so forth. So I would say anywhere before 1980, because that was before computers were common in people's homes. So that's the standard that will make it. And it's not that I'm saying elder as in old. It's not old. It's just elder as in time before this certain time. That's it. Shadu says, yes, you're all out of touch. Well, Shadu is the youngest here. So to him, all of us are elders. So yeah, Shadu. Yeah, We are dominating, and yeah, you're going to have to deal with it. Because think about it. The people who are between 35 and 60, the people between 35 and 60 currently are the ones who are starting to rule the world. Because before it was those above 60, it was 70s and 80s. But now Gen X and millennials are starting to get into power, and they're starting to come of age to start ruling the world. So now we're going to see a shift, possibly. We might start seeing a shift in how things are done, because now it won't be the boomers anymore. And silent generation, they don't exist anymore, do they? Not really. Well, they do, but they're not really that active outside. Make me want to buy a Tesla truck, and I have no desire to drive an electric vehicle. I believe that the more that they attack Tesla as a company, the more revenue they're going to see. But they said that Tesla lost money, but that's just temporary. I believe that that's going to backfire. It usually does. Thomas says the boomers sold us out long ago. I know. And that's something that they regret too, because you've seen many boomers come on podcasts and do interviews talking about how they regret what they did, because they said they were doing what they thought was best for themselves, because boomers tend to be very selfish. They were pretty selfish, but they were doing what they thought was best for themselves, and they figured that if they did well, then everyone else would do well. How do you figure that? Like, if I feed myself and everyone else starves, then by me feeding myself, everyone else will eat. How is that the case? If I feed myself, everyone else will eat. What are we, cannibals? Like, what are you talking about? How is you feeding yourself making everybody else? Yeah. Anyway, you guys see how short these curls are making my hair look? See, look, my hair looks short, right? But then you pull it, you stretch it, and it's like, it's just. Anyway, whatever. But yeah, so I've seen many boomers come out on interviews. Look on who's that person? I forgot who his name is, but he does interviews with people, and he asked them random questions. And yeah, there's been boomers coming out talking about how selfish their generation was and how they didn't set up the younger generations for success and so on and so forth. And then they look at the younger generations like, oh, why don't you have anything? Why haven't you done anything with yourself? Because you messed it up for the rest of us. You screwed the system up for us. But that's not what we're here to talk about. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about other things. So Nuka says, summer has bikini girls, though. Just look at the magazine. What you need? Listen. You all right, whatever. I'm going to leave that there, Nuka. You know, maybe you just need to be quiet for a little bit, Nuka. Aaron says, I was born in 1980. I'll be an elder soon. Respect me, everyone. 1980, you're nowhere close to being an elder. You're still 20 years away from being an elder, because yeah. But for the sake of this question, we're talking about, yeah, anywhere before 1980. But that's not because elder as in you're old, but it means, do you guys understand what I'm trying to say? Why do I have to keep explaining myself? I'm talking about before the computer generation, before the computers. Okay, that's all I'm saying. But yes, you 1980s, you're nowhere near. Okay, stop it. Oh, Blindy, oh, Blindy. Wait. Everybody, halt. Whatever you guys are texting or like writing right now in the chat, stop it. Just stop. We all have to collectively, okay? Collectively, look at old Blindy and give a judgmental stare. Why? Because old Blindy, in case you guys don't know, old Blindy has been all around these internet streets, saw me on Lapeef, and then old Blindy, he was there, and I'm sitting here thinking he's there to show me support. But do you guys know what old Blindy was doing? Do you guys know? Let me tell you what he was doing. We saw you, old Blindy. We saw what you were doing. Do you guys want to know what he was doing? He was there on Lapeef. So I'm getting raked on Lapeef, of course. I'm getting raked and dragged across the internet. And there's old Blindy in the comment section talking about me, talking about Rachel, talking about how I don't know what was one of the examples, like some kind of an Oreo mix of me and Rachel, and then me or somehow putting Rachel on the Lapeef panel, and just absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. And that was old Blindy. Okay. Now this is a person who's supposed to be a part of my pride, and instead of defending me, and instead of defending me, he's over there egging on other people, talking about how I have a best friend who's half white and half white because she doesn't accept her blackness. Now, if anything, that makes me look even worse on an all black panel. Old Blindy has no self-awareness. We are on an all-black panel, and he says, Amira has a best friend who is white, but she claims to be black. Dang it, old Blindy, shut up! You think I forgot about that, old Blindy? I didn't forget. I didn't forget. And I think we all should do the judgment stare. And I think we should collectively all point our finger at him and say, shame, shame. How dare you if you're gonna go with me, around these YouTube streets, at least show me some support. Don't just you just gave fodder for people to think I'm even more racist than what they already think I am, because I am. Now people think I'm even more racist than I am because of old Blindy. Yes. That I think we should all point and stare right now. Yep. And that's what he did. Yakub, you were there. Yakub, you were there. Yakub was there. He'll tell you. Isn't it true, Yakub? And Larry was there too. Larry, did you saw it too, right? Yes. See? You see? Okay. I think that we need to collectively make an agreement that if you guys are going to go with me to other places in these YouTube streets, that you guys are going to stay with me, okay? Yes, she was. I will tell Larry to send me a screenshot. Oh, Blindy, don't you try to defend yourself. Look, Shadow's like, oh, Blindy power. Don't defend him. You say you brought up hers makes us white. You see, this is the thing. Is that a tacit agreement? Rachel identifies as black. She does, but she's not. I told her, stop being what you're not. Stop trying to be what you're not. But old Blindy brought up the point. He's like, we should bring her on to Lapeef. Oh my gosh. Tomas says, back in the early 60s, the minimum wage was $1.25 an hour. Yet, quarters were made of silver. Today, that's $13 with inflation. But the melt value of those 5 silver quarters would be nearly $40 today. Tomas, we were having a good conversation, basically raking old Blindy through the YouTube streets, and you just brought me back down to reality, Tomas. You just brought me back down to reality that American money has no more value anymore. I believe it was stated that if you stacked $1 bills one on top of the other, and you stacked it, and you stacked the person who makes the most money on the planet, let's say Elon Musk, for example, his billions or trillion, however much he makes, that doesn't even reach quarter way to the moon. If you try to stack it in $1 bills, it doesn't even reach quarter way to the moon. But if you stacked in $1 bills the current national debt of the United States of America, it would reach the moon and back 4.5 times. And it's sad. I mean, it's really sad that, and Social Security is going to be a fairy tale. It's going to be something that maybe if Gen X gets Social Security, that they'll tell to their grandchildren, like, oh, there used to be a thing called Social Security, children. What? Social Security? Yeah, it was a thing that we all paid into. And that when you got to an age where you didn't want to do it anymore, this is all given back to you. Wow. It's not going to exist for my generation and younger. It's not. Is that lawful law? Well, it shouldn't be now, should it, Graham? Hi, Barry. I support her when they drag her. Oh, you do? Do you really, old blindy? I'm not really too much in the chat, so I don't know. But I get dragged quite often on the piece, so I don't know. Oh, really, 3G? Really? High five, old blindy. 3G? Okay, okay. Go ahead. This is when you find out who your real friends and your enemies are. See, this is the reason why. This is why I'm glad I called this out, because now I know who's with me and who isn't. Thank you, Aaron. Shame, OB. Shame, OB. Dr. M says, shame, old blindy, but you got to admit, that's pretty funny. You guys just like to see me. You guys just like to see me fail, right? You guys love it. Let me see your guys' thing. Hi, Neil. He says, we stopped making quarters, dimes, and half dollars from silver in 1963. So what are they made of now? Unprecious metals? What are our American cents made out of today? Because I heard that pennies are no longer made out of copper too. So what is it made out of? Do you guys know? Do not cut spending. We should go to Andromeda Galaxy. No, Andromeda is coming here to us, so we don't have to worry about that. She'll be here. Jupiter. Instead of building rockets, we could just stack dollars. Oh, yes, of course. Fionn, Doge and Trump will fix it unless they... I don't know what you mean by name. Oh, okay. So, Fionn, I fully agree with you. I fully do believe that Trump and Doge are going to make a lot of things happen, because all the money that we're going to get back after U.S. aid is gone. Well, it's already pretty much gone, but people are still trying to fight to keep it open. Did you guys hear about that, right? U.S. aid is no longer. The Department of Education, no longer. All of those federal programs, all of those things that were sucking the life out of us as taxpayers, as Americans, and so on, these things are going to put money back into our pockets. We don't know how many millions of dollars or billions at this point were wasted in these 2-3 companies. So I do believe that Doge and Trump are onto something, and they are going to put money back into our pockets. But I also wonder how much the tariffs are going to cost us later down the line, because it's not all going to be rising. There's going to be a temporary time of falling. There's going to be a temporary fall. So I just wonder how much that's going to be. Wait, do you guys not believe that it's going to be a temporary fall before the rise? Because these things, they take time to bounce back. Things take time to bounce back. You can't just. And another thing about the Department of Education, I just wanted to talk to you guys about this, that before the Department of Education existed, I believe it was up to the states, that it wasn't a federal thing, but it was the states doing it themselves, the states and the districts taking care of the schools. People will be responsible for their own retirement, for a 401k. Suka says, is that why you're away? Because you're on Lapief? Not really. Because I only go on Lapief on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and that has nothing to do with my Saturday show. So not really. Last week, this week I wasn't on Lapief, and then last week on Saturday I wasn't able to join you all because of other reasons, because I had something else going on. Idril, it's been a while since I've tuned in. You've got a new wig? Yes, it's a new wig. Do you like it? You like my new wig? Yeah, thanks. I love your cultural music. What cultural music? Aaron says half of this chat needs a timeout in the naughty corner. I've missed you guys so much. Evan, AK, thank you, Evan. Thank you for the answer. He says our current scents are aluminum or tin covered in a copper alloy. Really? Wow. We really are pathetic now, aren't we? Is that true? Copper and nickel. But I thought it wasn't even real copper either. I thought the copper, they said they stopped making pennies out of copper. So what are they making them out of now? Nickel? What is it, like colored into an orange color or something?
The last copper pennies, like pure copper pennies, were minted in 1983. Everything after that has been some kind of diminished alloy. A lot of them have nickel core or aluminum or tin. And the copper coating isn't pure copper. A lot of it is brass.
Dang, that's pathetic. That really is pathetic, isn't it? That means our money is really nothing. It's really useless. We can't do anything with it. Because think about it. Our dollars are not backed up by gold anymore. They're just pieces of paper that we give value to. We give the value to our dollars. They don't have any value back behind them except what we believe that it is. So we have paper that we are busting our arses for. We're busting our arses for paper that is not valuable. Then even our coins are the things that are supposed to have some weight to them. Even those things are just like the cans that you have in your pantry. The cans, the cans that you have, it has a tomato sauce and all the stuff in there. The money that we're using might as well be a tin can. If something, God forbid, ever really happened where we reverted back to precious metals and so on, the majority of us would be very broke because almost none of us have anything except those dollars. And hell, even the dollars, think about this. Majority of us have our stuff in banks, and all we have is a number on our phone that says that we have this much in the bank. But that is not even real money or real, because if the banks decide tomorrow, I'm not giving you guys SHIT, well then we're screwed SOL. That's scary. I mean, I don't want to think about that, but it is what it is. I mean, Lippo says he has a couple of steel cents from World War II. Schizo. The only coin should be the quarter, and it should be made out of silver again. I heard, Schizo, that there's been some push towards President Trump to get rid of all non-dollars. No quarters, no nickels, no pennies, no nothing. But to start with the penny. First, they're saying we get rid of all pennies. So pennies will no longer be accepted as tenure. Is it the word tenure or Yeah. So pennies will no longer be accepted as a form of payment or money. You guys understand? And at least $500 billion goes poof. Larry, a judge just told Trump that he has to hire back the IRS workers, saying that he had no right to fire them. Oh, screw them. You know what? We're wasting time. Let's get into the news. Screw it. We are wasting time. I don't even know why we wasted this much time. Let's get to it. Let me pull it up right now. Let's get into it because I'm sure that we have plenty to talk about. Thank you, Larry, for scouring the internet and everywhere, the Wikipedias, the Instagrams, the Pornhubs, the the Facebooks, everywhere. Larry scours the internet for the latest and the best news for us, and we appreciate you very, very much, Larry. Thank you so much. And let's get to it because, it's not even allowing me to open it because I don't have to download it. Okay, whatever, it's fine. I'll download it. It's not a big deal. All right, now I'm opening it slowly but surely. All right. What do we have here, Larry? I need my glasses because I'm not wearing my proper... 1 second. Let me get my glasses. Right. Are you guys ready? Because I am. Oh, that was bright. All right. Do you guys want me to do my hair in a way? So hold on, wait. I can be your guys' teacher. Hold on. Okay, you guys ready? All right. Here we go. I got to pull out the front pieces because Okay, you guys ready? All right, boom. Side pieces, and here we go. All right. In the news. And I just lost it. In the news. Let's see. How are we going to begin? I don't want to talk about the Brits first. I want to talk about... Oh, really? Did that really happen, Larry? I didn't know that. He got attacked? Oh, my gosh. I'm going to call him. I haven't talked to him in so long. Oh, I didn't know he got attacked. Oh, really? There was a fight in Congress, too? Oh, there was a fight in Congress? Oh, juicy. Juicy. Oh, my God. Tampon Tim. Of course. All right. I think I'm going to start with Tampon Tim, actually. Oh, Zelenskyy is out here. Zelenskyy is out here being sassy. So, okay. So Zelenskyy apparently is out here being sassy to us. Zelenskyy. Oh, Zelenskyy. Oh, he's just sour that his sugar daddy is no longer available. All right, let's start with Tampon Tim, shall we? Okay. Samael, let me know if anything messes up with the audio or the video because I cannot see StreamYard right now, okay? Or actually, there might be a way that I can. Let me half screen. I'll do half screen so that way I can. Yes, I'll do half screens, half screens. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Oh, right. Are you guys ready? Tampon Tim. Tampon Tim has proposed a quote unquote new shadow government to counter the Trump administration. Because we all know that these Democrats are out there trying to find any way to thwart any efforts by Donald Trump to make America great again. They even though he's doing good things, they care not, because anything that he does, just because it's him, has to be stopped. So here we go. Still fresh and salty over his wife's losing ticket, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has declared that a shadow government is needed to, quote unquote, provide Americans with the truth about the Trump administration's actions during a town hall in Eau Claire. Tim Walz, he accused the Trump administration of restricting votes before saying this. He said this, and I quote, "This is one of the things, though, that is going to take power industry to," I don't know what the answer is on this, but I'm kind of, well, listen, I've been saying this. I think we need a shadow government so that when all these things come up every single day, we've got an alternate press conference telling the truth about the things that are happening. Tell them what's going on, end quote. So basically, he's saying, I want an alternate press conference to lie. So you know how we have the press conferences going on right now, and we have our press secretary telling the truth and they're not liking it? What they want to do is create an alternate universe where they have separate press conferences that tell the liberals what they want to hear, because the liberals don't like the truth. They want to have a separate alternate universe where the liberals get to hear what they want to hear and the truth can stay over there. Judging by the last part of his statement, Tim Walz obviously has no idea that alternate statements are provided every single day in politics. We see it every day through the media, of course. And his remarks caught the eye of head-shaking Republicans who provided alternate statements to Walz's comment. They said, well, I'll give you one. U.S. Representative of South Carolina responded on her social media saying, and I quote, "Please keep this up, sir. Keep it up." While President Trump's social media team responded to Tim Walz on X saying, "Unhinged loser Governor Tim Walz wants to form a shadow government in protest of requiring proof of citizenship for voter registration and the banning of foreign nationals from interfering in American elections." Now listen, this is the end part of this one. After calling for this shadow government and shadow opposition to the will of most Americans, Tim Walz told a crowd a story about Tim giving his son named Gus his wisdom. Because listen, okay, wait. He gave this story to a group of people. So he wanted to make himself seem like he's a normal American and he's providing his son with the wisdom of the elders. And he said this, "I was having one of those dad talks. I was having one of those dad talks with him. I was giving Gus my wisdom on what he had done wrong, because I know these things, right? I'm a dad." And in the middle of it, he gave me the old, says the old guy who got his ass kicked by Donald Trump. Listen, now, listen, in some families, that would have been grounds to pick you off of the family tree and throw you down the hill. But I listen, in some families that would have been grounds to really kick you out of the family tree. Like how dare you? So he thinks that it's normal for sons to say that to their fathers because he's like, I'm a dad, and as I was passing on my wisdom to my son, your son basically gave you the middle finger, sir, and you're bragging about it to a crowd of people. Congratulations. Here's your sign. Let's move on to something else, shall we? The United States' sugar baby, Zelenskyy, Vladimir Zelenskyy. Now, Zelenskyy says that Ukraine will no longer recognize the prior United States aids as loans. So, what does that mean, sir? Does that mean that you're going to recognize them as gifts now? Oh, okay. So the United States didn't give you loans. Now we gave you gifts, right? Right. Was that payment for wiping Joe Biden's rear end? Changing a diaper, per se? And I quote, this is what Zelenskyy said, and I quote, "We are grateful for the support, but this is not a loan, and we will not allow it." Yes. Stupid Zelenskyy. This is what he said. President Zelenskyy, who spoke to journalists about repaying the United States for the aid it has provided to Ukraine in its war efforts against Russia. President Zelenskyy's comment was likely in response to an updated draft of the stalled minerals deal between Ukraine and America. According to Zelenskyy, this new version of the deal is completely different from its previous version, but it still contains conditions previously denied by Ukraine. News outlets reported that the new deal reportedly expands on America's control over Ukraine's natural resources, including its minerals, gas, oil, and infrastructure. As it should. As it should. If we are going to be footing the bill for your little fight with Ukraine or with Russia, then we should have some darn control over your stuff. But anyway, this raised concerns over Ukraine's sovereignty, and it creates obstacles for Ukraine's bid to join the European Union and NATO. Since some of the conditions of this deal may conflict with the European Union's accession process. You know what? Zelenskyy, look. I'm going to be on. Well, you guys know, this is how we talk, okay? Let's just be real with each other. I haven't talked to you guys in a long time, so let me just talk. This guy, Ukraine has never been a non-corrupt nation. It has always been corrupt since the beginning of its birth. It's always been corrupt. And Zelenskyy is just the absolute poster boy. He's the perfect president for Ukraine because of its corruption and how they are with the Burma and all that stuff. This president they have right now is a perfect representative of their nation. The corruption, the absolute always on your knees, ready to suck whoever and whatever to get your way. This is I mean, all right. If he were my president, I would be extremely ashamed to call myself a Ukrainian. This guy goes around the whole world on his knees. I don't know if he's begging or sucking. I really don't. And the truth is, I'm sure this man's knees are so darn black. His knees have got to be black. Maybe that's the reason why he doesn't wear different type of clothing. He doesn't want to show his knees. Him and Kamala. Maybe that's why they were on the tour together. They were sharing solutions for their knees, their knee problems. Maybe trading knee cream ideas. Oh, well, this cream does really good. This cream. Now, if you really want to bleach those dark stains off your knees, get this one cream, I'm telling you. Zelenskyy, going around the world on your freaking knees. Pathetic. Oh, have some dignity. Larry says he's bending over. Larry, I don't know what to think of this guy. I really don't, but he's pathetic. And not only is he a beggar, but then he's also an ungrateful beggar. Hmm? The least you could do is be grateful. He can't even do that. He deserves nothing. All right, here we go. This happened last week, but since I didn't see you guys, I'm going to share it with you today. There was a fight. Well, not really a fight. There was a Tennessee Democrat, right? This Democrat from Tennessee threw a tantrum while attempting to get gun control legislation passed. Okay? She attempted to fight dissenting Republicans after the vote failed. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a he. Sorry. He, Justin Pearson. So this guy is from Tennessee. He's Tennessee State Representative Justin Pearson, who was removed from office after leading a protest into a 2023 legislative meeting. He is once again in the news for making an absolute fool of himself. Do you guys know what this guy did? You guys know what he did? Here it is. Here's the story. Upon his return from a 3-month break to mourn the death of his brother due to gun-related self-deletion, Justin Pearson submitted legislation to remove the right of citizens to carry concealed weapons without a permit. During his comment, Pearson took aim at a Republican who questioned what he had been doing while he was gone. And he angrily responded with claims that he had been in the streets working with the people, while his colleagues were passing bills that have been hurting transgender children and the poor, among other accusations, of course. And then this person, Justin Pearson, the Tennessee representative, he then blamed guns for his brother's self-deletion. Because we have to remember that guns are the culprit. It's never the people. Because people are just victims of guns. Guns are just doing whatever the hell they want out here in these streets, and we are just the victims. So it's always the weapon that is the problem. You know what I mean? It's not the intent. It's not the mental health of a person. It's not the desires or the sick desires of other people. When it comes to this gun violence, it's always the weapon's fault. Okay? When there's knife violence, we need to blame knives. And we need to make sure knives are no longer available for people freely. When someone runs over another person with a vehicle, we need to blame vehicles. Because vehicles are just not safe. They're just not safe. We can't trust vehicles anymore. And the same goes with weapons like guns. When someone self-deletes using a gun, well, it's the gun's fault, of course. You guys know that, right? Right? You guys know? You guys knew that, right? Erin. Yep, Erin. See? Good job, Erin. She's on the right track. See, Erin is actually going places. She understands. It's the gun's problem. So, this Republican, Andrew Farmer, he didn't take this guy's accusations lying down, because majority of Republicans have balls. They haven't been neutered. So this Republican, Andrew Farmer, he did not take these accusations. Oops, sorry guys. Oh my God, the mirror almost fell on me. But he did not take these accusations lying down, nor did he allow Pearson to use his brother to violate the Second Amendment of the American people. He scolded Pearson for his disrespectful behavior. And I'm going to tell you guys what he said word by word. He said, and I quote, I appreciate the conversation and discussion because that's what democracy requires: our participation, our questions, our conversation, and our discussion, not just to end the debate because you don't want to hear something. I know every member of this committee has been here this year working. I know you may have some things going on, but you do not have, but you have not. So I think it's fair that you come in front of this committee and lecture us on your hard work. Or he said, I don't think it's fair. Sorry, guys. Farmer's comment further enraged Pearson, who responded saying, it's a pathetic excuse for you to not answer the question of why we are doing nothing about gun violence, the gun violence epidemic, then to personally attack me when I'm in mourning over my brother. This guy went on playing the victim until his microphone was cut off. And even with his microphone cut off, he still continued to scream. Because he made it into an issue about his brother being dead instead of looking at the issue of the Second Amendment and people's rights in America. But once order was restored, the committee took a vote on Pearson's bill, which was rejected by the mostly Republican committee. This outcome sent Pearson over the top, raging. Okay, he went nuts because the Republicans didn't agree with his wanting to basically restrict the Second Amendment rights of Americans just because his brother killed himself with a gun. So he went nuts after the vote was finished. He stormed across the room and up the stairs, and he stood over the Republican member that we were talking about, the one that was talking to him. He started shaking his finger at him while committee members quietly restrained him. They tried to just hold him back from acting a fool. Representative Farmer, who was the Republican, he spoke to news outlets about the incident saying, and I quote, there is not a single member of our body that doesn't have tremendous sympathy for Representative Pearson's loss, the loss of his brother. Every one of us has struggled with personal tragedy at some point, and we all have offered grace and compassion while he took those last few months off to grieve. Unfortunately, on his first day back, Representative Pearson took the first available opportunity to attack and demean his colleagues and then confront me physically. And that's the end quote. Now, Pearson's actions are now under review by the committee leadership. So, what do you guys think about that story? That's a case of going personal with an issue that has nothing to do with your personal situation. His personal situation with his brother had absolutely nothing to do with the issue at hand in the committee. But instead, he was in his feelings about his brother, which is understandable. Of course, he's mourning. But we count on our representatives and our leadership to be able to separate their personal lives and the job. We count on them to be not emotional. We count on you to be less emotional and to be rational and logical. But if you can't do that and you are out here, you guys understand. I don't have to get into it. Never let a good crisis go to waste. But there you go. There it is. And that's the thing. Frost says liberals can't fight. Now, listen. Now, if that Republican member decided to get up and take Pearson for, a run for his money, we all know what would have happened. Okay. My money is on the Republican because, like I said, Republicans still have their balls. They're not neutered. No. Oh, no. They really do believe in their testosterone. They rely on it, they love it, and they nurture it. Not like liberals who try to suppress it, try to kill it, and try to replace it with female pheromones. Oh man, these people. Dr. M says, I hate to compliment a politician, but I do think that the farmer guy's response was reasonably classy. Of course, of course, of course. And listen, more often than not, Republicans do not disgrace us. More often than not. It's very rare that we have incidences where Republicans are acting crazy or throwing stuff or just, throwing an absolute tantrum and all that. It's very rare that we have it. Even when we lose, we don't typically see that. But we see that very commonly on the other side. Anytime they lose, don't get their way, or something, just they're just so emotional. And I just cannot, I will never forget. Now, I know, I'm moving on, don't worry. But I will never forget just what happened last month, that the Democrat side of Congress did not stand for that little boy who survived cancer. That will never leave my brain until the day that I die. That these people were so damn petty that they couldn't put aside their emotions and their feelings for Trump that are absolutely personal. They couldn't put that aside to cheer on an American, a true American at heart who survived and continues to go on. He's not only surviving, but thriving. And you sat there on your arse, your fat, stupid arse, because you don't like Trump. These people are, I'll never forget that. And that is one image that I think all of America will never forget too. The emotions. These people are just so emotional, and they can't put aside their emotions to do the job. And that is a huge problem. This is the reason why I don't support them. I don't. And the thing is, what are you going to say? Well, you're saying that every Democrat is like that. No, I'm not saying that every Democrat is like that, but I'll be god darned that if people are going to be that petty, they're always Democrats. When you see people being that petty, they're always Democrats. Why is that? You're going to tell me that doesn't have something to do with their value system? People hang out in cliques and groups, and they hang around like people. Like hangs around like. These people are all like that. So I don't know what it is, but it's something about them. Something about them. Okay, I want to tell you guys something serious right now, because something serious happened and I didn't know it happened. But my friend was attacked, apparently. And I think I want to share it with you all. Conservative YouTuber Brandon Tatum. He was attacked. He was attacked by Antifa. Days ago, conservative YouTuber Brandon Tatum and members of the UC Davis chapter of Turning Point USA were attacked by masked members of Antifa, while police and school officials stood by and watched. At one point, an Antifa member hit a woman in the head in front of the police officers with no repercussions. Then they proceeded to rob Turning Point USA's property shortly after Brandon Tatum arrived. Once Brandon arrived, he spoke with the police officers, asking if they were going to defend him in Turning Point, if they were going to do something about this. After the police refused to directly comment on doing anything more than forming a wall between Antifa and Turning Point, Brandon Tatum took matters into his own hands and successfully fended off the entire crowd by himself, by his lonesome. And while speaking with the press about this incident, Turning Point's founder, Charlie Kirk, suggested that the federal government investigate UC Davis over their constant failure to protect conservative speakers and possibly remove their funding because they are clearly defending the left only. They don't defend their conservative members. They need to defend each side equally. It's a school. What the hell is wrong with these people? And you guys know something else that's so stupid about this whole situation? Brandon Tatum is an officer, or a former officer, a police officer. And the police didn't even want to defend him against Antifa. They didn't want to defend their own. Because you guys, I mean, I'm not an officer, but you guys understand that officers have a pact. They have a brotherhood because officers put their lives on the line every day. Every day they put on their uniform, every day they clock in for work. They don't know if they're going to make it home that night. So they have a brotherhood within themselves. And no matter how much you may hate officers, the majority of you couldn't do their job. The majority of you couldn't handle their job. The crap that they see every day, the stuff that they have to run into. While people are running away from the problem, they have to run to the problem. So all these people who are like, oh, all cops are bastards and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. All cops are this, all cops are that. But who are you going to call when something happened to you? They're the first ones that you're like, call 911. Oh, I thought all cops were bastards. Brandon Tatum is an officer. He is a proud officer, a proud supporter of the blue line. And they literally just left him out there on his lonesome to fight Antifa. Antifa, think about it. Antifa, a big group of pussies. And I'm going to say the actual word. They're pussies. A group. I've met Antifa. They stood next to me, looking at me like they wanted to do something. But I'm always armed, baby. All I did was move my shirt back a little bit. You see what I'm handling. Antifa, a group of freaking little kids, little freaking living in their basement, in their parents' basement, looking for a purpose in life because they don't have nothing. Mad at the world because they don't know what to do with themselves. They all smell like Cheetos. They mask themselves because only pussies mask themselves. If you want to do something, do it. I mean, unless you're robbing a bank, I can understand masking yourself for robbing a bank. But if you're not robbing a bank, what the hell are you masking yourself for? Be real. They're not real. They're not gangsters. They're nothing. Ugh. I can't stand that these people are actually scared of them. What is it? Like the officers? It's not like the police. Anyway, let's move on. We're done with the news. Now, I'm going to open the panel because now it's time for the next section of the stream. You guys ready? All right. So anybody who wants to come on, you need to make sure you have good internet, good lighting, and please don't be walking around. Just kind of be like I am, sit and talk, because moving around and all that, it creates distraction and it's annoying. So I'm going to put the link inside of the chat. And if you wish to join me, you're welcome to do so. And when I get a panel, then I will propose a question to you all. You know what? I was thinking something. I was thinking, if I had the opportunity to have, I don't know, maybe like a meet and greet or something like that with you all, I would do it. But But the only problem is that I don't think that it would be. Hi, Shadu. Okay, so we have a few people. Hi, Shadu. Carrie, are you gonna? Carrie, you can't come on like that. Well, are you trying to come on, Carrie? Let me know because I can't see you. Oh my God. See, this is the reason why. I'm not bringing you on, Carrie. Hey, Shadu.
For half a second, I thought that was Carrie. How you doing?
I'm good. Okay, so I want to have you, but I also need to have at least 2 more other people. So I need 2 more volunteers. Do you guys remember the movie Hunger Games? Where they're like,
yes, I
what is
volunteer as tribute. Yes.
I need tributes.
Yes. Though if you want to do Hunger Games, you need 24 people, 12 men, 12 women, and I think you've only got a woman in the chat, so we can't do Hunger Games.
You do not assume the gender of my pride, okay? Don't assume their genders. You don't know what they identify as.
A cis het white male. That's kind of in my DNA to do it.
Oh my gosh. Message. I'm like, you are such a cis white male. You're probably Christian too.
Categorically. Extremist, in fact.
Here we go. No, Frost. Frost.
I believe that, actually. I believe that.
No, Frost. Do you know something, Frost? You have to get married to Rachel. No, get off. I didn't put you there. Samael, do not do that again. You do not overmind me. You do not. Samael, we're gonna have a talk. We having a talk after this. You understand that, right? You do not just, you know what? And see, this is the thing. Frost saying he's a black woman. Frost, you have to get married to Rachel. You have to get married to Rachel. You have to. You
That's
just
not
have
a
to.
bad idea.
What'd you say?
That's not a bad idea.
I know, but isn't it true that Frost has a crush on her? I know it. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna bring you guys back up. Just hold on. Don't go anywhere. You. I finally see your face. I've never seen your face
You've seen me before.
No, I don't remember it. I don't remember ever seeing your face before. But you
At least twice.
No. Don't say anything. Shush. You. Do you know the kind of things you get me into, right? Do you know that they, because of you, they think that I am even more racist than what they think I am. Okay? Because of you. Because you say, oh, she has a friend who's a black, but she's white, but she thinks she's black. Look.
I said she's 100% white when you brought her up.
Look, oh Blindy, the whole
last
chat.
time you were talking about her.
Oh Blindy,
You brought
look.
her up the last chat. I can't see chat actually.
No, I'm posting it. You can't see the
Oh, I see
highlight.
that. Yeah, of course, right.
Oh, okay. There you go. Shame, oh Blindy, shame. Anyway, no, but all right. I'm bringing Carrie back and Shadu. Okay.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. Freak. Okay, I'm just doing it. What about Shadu needs to make babies? Okay, since we are all elders.
Shadow boot camp.
Oh, Blindy, thank you. See, we are all elders of Shadu, okay? I think that we need to have a congregation, like an intervention kind of thing, because he's not doing what he should be doing.
We need to beat him.
Intervention.
He made a real boot camp for you. Women
We
want
have to
be
get
chased.
Shadu. We'll get
here.
It'll be like a Lapeef thing where we talk at him mostly. We beat him just like Sam.
Yes.
I'll send you some some boxing gloves. I've got 2 pairs.
Oh,
You can put
Blindy,
your boxing gloves on.
Oh, Blindy, you know what? You're improving my view of you. I feel happy now. Shadu, you hear that? That's what it's going to be. You hear what he said?
I hear loud and clear.
Yeah,
If you wish to purchase If you wish to purchase absolution from Amira's wrath, bully me. That's how you get out of her hot seat, her angry seat, her
That's
naughty
one
corner.
way, yeah, sure.
What if I don't want to get out of the hot seat?
See, that's
what
your
if I'm
problem,
healthy?
Carrie. That's your problem, Carrie. See, you have an issue with see, I'm not even gonna get into that. But okay, Samaya.
I have whole volumes. What are you talking about?
When you think him.
I mean, we just had a discussion on Sam's with what you call it. Shadow was there. We determined women are AI, so they probably don't exist. So maybe Shadow has an excuse.
Oh,
No.
okay. No, Carrie. Wait. Since you guys are all guys, I want to ask you guys something. Now, this is a question posed to the panel. I need more people, by the way. So if anybody else, mods, please repost the link if you can, because I need more people. But to you three gentlemen, AI women are about to be a thing. In fact, there already have been the first ones already made. Do you believe that if women, Western women, do not improve their behavior, that men are going to start to go to AI? Or do you believe that that will just be a little fetish thing on the side and it won't be taken seriously?
Right
I
now,
give
we
that
have,
a 75% probability of happening.
I only see it as the way OF right now has real women, and there's a certain portion of the population is just wasting their time spending inordinate amounts of money on these parasocial relationships and just blowing money on nothing, just a fantasy companionship. All that's going to do is just push the real women out, and probably those same men will just keep doing the same thing they're doing until Shadow rises up and becomes the next Jordan Peterson and tells them to clean their room.
How fucking dare you? I'll be the Immortan Joe.
No, don't flatter yourself, boy.
I'm definitely not going to be Nux.
So,
That's for
Shadow,
sure.
what's your view on it? Do you think that that is a possibility or no? Because let me tell you one more thing. We have more men than ever reaching the age of 30 as virgins than ever before in history. So, what do you think this AI thing will bring?
Well, I mean, we're already at the point where most men don't have marriage prospects or long-term relationship prospects for a variety of reasons. And even if you do end up in a relationship, there are plenty of damn horror stories of her hitting 30, hitting 40, deciding, well, I think I've got a shot, and then going for Chad behind your back or dropping you. So there's a
Hypergamy.
reward scenario. Yeah. There's a reward calculation a lot of dudes are having to make. And as we step further and further, I'm going to say away from God. But if you guys want to say towards selfishness and degeneracy, that also works if you're not necessarily Christian or Muslim. As we step away from God, there's less and less incentive to build a family, less and less incentive to cultivate a relationship with a woman. You basically just exist to pursue temporary pleasures, whether that's playing video games, whether that's gooning, whether that's eating lots of food, and you pursue whatever makes you feel good in the moment. AI women are tailored to your tastes. Whereas with OnlyFans, you kind of have to look for what you want, or same thing with Pornhub. With AI, once we get to a certain point, you can make exactly what you want, down to the voice, down to the freckles on the face, down to the wardrobe choice. So in 5 to 6 years, unless we have a cultural shift towards cultivating relationships for purposes beyond sex and purposes beyond short-term gratification, yeah, women are going to be phased out. Objectively, that's just the route we're on right now.
So we should all just fall in love with Haley Lujan.
That is not what I said.
There was an episode of Red Shoe Diaries that talked about exactly that happening, like right down to mechanical equipment being involved.
Okay. So, with that answer, because this goes into my title as well, talking about the elders being out of touch with reality of today, do you guys believe that because the elders are constantly pushing that the younger generation needs to get married, they need to do the things that were done traditionally? This is why we have all over the internet, you guys have seen it, all over the internet, we have these red pill channels, we have these traditional channels we have these ladies who are like, I'm traditional and I do this and then you have the other side of it who are like, I'm modern, I reject traditionalism and blah blah blah. And then you have the elders who are basically telling us that we need to revert to what worked, what used to work. Are they out of touch with today's world and today's society and today's women choices?
Should I start?
Yeah.
Well, you're referring to elders as a monolith, so we're just going to assume you're going to talk about, you're focusing on the conservative elders, probably more so that. And there are definitely some that are pushing that, but again, we could be at this all day talking about all the things that get in the way of doing that traditional, the way things were done. Some of that is obviously economic, to where if you can't get your feet off the ground, you can't afford a home. And even at that right now, with the average income being 40, 50,000, that is very difficult to achieve without already having a partner. And then the partner pool is not that great. You know, I'm single, and Shadow's very single, and trying to get ourselves to find an actually decent woman, and then being able to get a combined income or being able to attract a certain type of women is kind of a very dwindling pool of available women that aren't already taken, that haven't found themselves some decent person, hopefully. And trying to get that start is a little bit difficult. And there's a couple of reasons, but it's social and economic.
1 second. I wanna mention something, because there is something that I want to bring up. When we talk about this push towards relationships and so on, we have when I say older generations, I mean our grandparents, who most grandparents are waiting for their grandchildren to marry. I don't care if they're the liberal ones or conservative. The majority of older people want to see the younger in their families make something. They want to see the family grow. So no matter what, they're going to tell you to get married. So my question to you all is, are they pushing us towards failure because they don't recognize the issues? We're not living in the same world as they lived in. Are they inevitably pushing us towards failure?
To an
No.
extent, I would say. I would say in the context, the end goal they're describing of building a family, building a social network, establishing a good basis of existence, that's all good advice. That is absolutely what you should be striving for. You shouldn't be living for the day. You shouldn't be eating whatever you want, pumping a ton of drugs, gooning, and then, oh, well, I survived tomorrow. Great, I'll do the same thing until I decide to step in a suicide pod. That's bad. However, the actual execution of doing that is no longer the same as when someone, a boomer, Gen X, even millennial, maybe, I don't know the situation for millennials, but it's definitely very different for the situation I'm in as as Gen Z, as a Zoomer, where yes, you want the same endpoint, but for a variety of factors, you can't just go to a bar and pick someone up. As much as I'm being told, no, that's the internet, that's not true. Conversations I've had with real women in workplaces, in classrooms, uh, just on sidewalks, on streets, not in a romantic context, not in hitting on them, but just in general conversational sense, I can tell that these are not women that I want to attempt to court, that I want to attempt to build a life with. There is a
Oh, wait, how can you say that if you're just speaking to them regularly? If you're not actually, give me an example. Why?
because of their priorities or their opinions on like who they would like to date, or the fact that they seem to go through romantic partners over the course of weeks or even months. And now, granted, this is a problem I've also noticed in guys that I've spoken to, where they do basically the same thing. But I'm going to be a little bit chauvinistic here. That's more or less what you expect to see from a young man in the college age era, just kind of going through whoever they can. That's what you would expect. But outside of a very specific subset of women, at least my understanding, you shouldn't be expecting that. Yet I've met people who I would count as very intelligent, very mature, very capable, talking about relationships the same way. Hey, Will, how you doing, man?
Oh, doing great. Go on. Don't let me interrupt.
All right,
Salute,
yeah.
Will.
Long story short, I'll stop my ranting. It's the environment requires a altering of the advice to adjust. You need to adjust your plan to reach the end goal. So the reach the end goal is the good advice, but the actual execution of getting there is not good advice. I apologize for rambling.
No, but okay, so how do you, I hear what you're saying, but as a devil's advocate, what do you expect from women who are raised up in the Western society? Like, how can they sit at home and be these perfect little, conservative girls, and men don't just come to them, their prospects don't just come to them knocking on their door like before, so they have to kind of get out there, no? So what would you expect them to do other than getting out there and dating?
Can I say something about that?
Yeah.
Because Shadu, I've been trying to get Shadu to get married, so I need to hear his response, and then
Okay.
I need you, Will, to not be pessimistic. Okay, we don't need any stretching jokes, and her poussée was so big that we could fit a whole galaxy. We don't need these.
Well, I was going to say I expect them not to be uglier than a modern art masterpiece. But go ahead.
Can we just Shadow? So
that.
you hear the question. What do you expect?
Yes.
Because dating is the only way that they see to get married, because they don't have fathers who are courting them. So what do you expect?
Oh no, so let me rephrase. So I recognize that we're all products of the world we live in. We're fish in the pond that we're actively swimming in, and I can't expect someone to not be what they are immersed in, not be what they've been surrounded by. But at the same time, I can recognize people are smart enough to identify when something's wrong and pursue a path that takes them out of the situation they're in, if that makes any sense. And I've noticed in conversations with people, now granted, this is the vibe I've gotten from specific conversations. I don't record them on this magic box. I can't play them back to you, so that you're going to kind of have to trust me, bro, on this. But based on the conversations that I've had with certain people, there's this expectation that the way the world is currently, with the way feminism is, with the way the social dynamics have been for the last 20, 30, 40 years, that's all perfectly admissible, that's all perfectly fine, when it's clearly destructive, when it's clearly radioactive. And someone who is willing to continue to play into that is not someone that I want to engage with in a romantic level, because I don't want to have to drag them kicking and screaming into reality when shit hits the fan, if that makes any sense. Unless there's someone who I have a deep connection with, at which point I'll be willing to drag them kicking and screaming. But I've not found someone who I have that connection with, if that makes any sense.
Not only will sugar honey iced tea will hit the fan, but it's going to go down like Dank Demoss in quicksand.
I don't get the reference.
She's the fat rapper who couldn't fit inside the lift.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
You know what, Shadu? I hear you, but living in this world, this Western world, dating doesn't work. Okay, dating is absolute shit. It doesn't work. All it does is create looser women, and physically and figuratively, but it creates looser women, more damaged women, more emotionally unstable women, and it creates men that start to see women more as shirts, like the thing that they put on today and put on another one tomorrow.
Actually, they're more like pants, but go ahead.
Will, can we just focus on my...
Yeah,
So-
go ahead.
So it's not working. The system that we have is not working, and all it's creating is more problems. And then aside from that, children are being born out of this garbage pool of dating. What are we going to do to fix that? Well, I can't say that to you guys, but you guys are men. You guys are the ones that decide if marriage even happens. Like, marriage doesn't happen without you. You are the keepers of that. So what can you guys do as the keepers of marriage to influence this?
When they have as much value as two ends of a loaf of bread, it's like they've been touched, but just nobody wants it.
I get it. But when we're talking to a person like Shadu, we're talking to a person who is just coming into his prime. He's white. He's perfect. He's he's healthy. We need to get him. Oh, Blindy, listen. But we need to get Shadu married. We need to get him babies. We need to get him, you know.
Yeah, I don't really have the answer to that. All I know is if she has a higher body count than the concentration camps in Auschwitz, you got to move on.
Which numbers are you using for that? Because I've seen some very speculative.
God darn it, we're not going to argue about the numbers of the Auschwitz. See, this is why I can't have you two together. Hustler,
Okay, then
muscular.
I
Where are you,
apologize.
muscular? Muscular. Where are you?
I'm here. Salute.
Hello, nice to see you. Can you spread some wisdom here?
Well, I will do my damn diligence. Excuse my language. Now, as far as elders being out of touch, I'm going to say yes, they are a little bit because they don't understand. Times were different when they were younger. Times were different when our parents were younger. Times were different when our grandparents were younger. And plus, back in the day, I think when women and men were held to a standard. Now, is it true that women didn't have the same rights as they did back in those days? No. But guess what? The men of the Gen Xers and baby boomers were held to a standard just like the women were. We had to be the providers, the builders, the protectors, yada, yada, yada. Pick a good woman. We would, hell, there was a time where I had to meet the mom and the dad just to even get access to a woman on that kinky dinky level. Fast forward to the millennials, that mess kind of went out the window. Now we're just going to have sneaky links around the way. And fast forward to the millennial 2000s, introducing social media. Now nobody wants to meet the family unless it's been like a month. Me personally, you're not meeting my mom until I know you for at least a good month and a half, but that's just me. That's how I did it when I was in the dating phase. You're not meeting my mama until you at least know me for a good 3 weeks to a month. So times are changing, society is changing, everything's changing. And the OGs need to get on board and teach us this new game and kind of tie it into what they were taught. Like in my day, we did it like this. That's what you need to do. But I understand times are different now. I know some gentlemen who are still old school and live by old school principle, but they do it in a way that kind of coincides with how things are done today. You don't want to mess with these guys. Believe that. They old, they're set in their ways. You can't tell them a doggone thing. So forget it.
Oh, go ahead.
And in the meantime, Shadow, until she meets your parents, don't kiss her in the mouth and don't go down south.
Hustler.
Don't kiss her in the mouth. Don't go down south. Bars.
Stop.
I'm just
Don't
saying,
egg him on. Don't egg him on because it's only going to get worse. Hustler, listen. The thing is, I need you to give me something because what Shadu was talking about was dating, and he said he doesn't want to see a girl who's dated many guys. But I was asking him, what is a girl to do in this situation?
Straight up. I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you straight up, bro. You ain't going to find too many women in this day and age who haven't had at least one boyfriend or partner before you came into the picture. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Right.
Hold on. I can tell you one thing. I don't know about most men, but usually there are ways you can tell if a woman is either cordial or she's been around the block. Usually we can tell from a right away. You'll understand as you get older. I had to learn it. Will had to learn it. Mr. Old Blindly had to learn it. You can tell when a woman's been around the block, how she carries herself, how she behaves herself, how she talks about other men and other women. Yeah, too. You can tell she's been around the block. I had to catch on to these signs when I was younger. So I say move with the abundance mindset that I don't need a girlfriend. I don't need a wife. If she comes, she comes. That way you'll get used a lot less. That's how I had to move. That's how other men had to move. Because that old scarce mindset of, I got to get married. I don't want to be by myself in this world. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse my language. The heck with all of that. F that. Focus on yourself. Be the best version of yourself and let the women come to you. Or you can approach, but do it in a way that I don't need you, but I like you. I need you. I don't like you. That kind of thing. And don't be afraid to have a few. Don't be afraid to have a few hookups every now and then. Just don't get carried away and get these bras pregnant or worse, catch an STD. Just saying, if I might just mute it, rock out.
Let me make a quick clarification on something. I'm not saying I'm looking for someone who's never dated. I'm saying I'm looking for someone who's has specific priorities. If it's a woman who is specifically looking for, I want to make my career and I want a relationship to just be something that I go to for short-term pleasure, that's not something I want. I want someone who is willing for a long-term. If I'm looking for someone to be in a long-term relationship with, which is what I'm looking for, I want someone who also wants a long-term relationship and is willing to make sacrifices for it. Not, oh well, mild inconvenience, I'm going to go for this dude instead. Just clarification on that, because I know.
I understand.
Yeah.
And for the record, I don't judge anybody who's had that. I believe me, when I was in university, trust me, I've had hookups with women like that. It didn't bother me too much. But hey, I knew how to move. If I know you've been around a block, I'm moving accordingly. That's what you got to do. Move, read the room, move with the environment, and move accordingly. So I get what you're saying. You want a woman that's going to prioritize a relationship just like you. Now, if you find someone like that, that's who you go for. Them other broads, screw them, leave them alone. Or deal with them accordingly. It's your choice.
Did you guys see
You're a
that?
grown man. I ain't gonna tell you what to do.
That comment by Frost. Frost says, if you want to find a good woman, you got to become Amish or go overseas at this point. All right, look, I agree completely, Frost, but Frost, there is an option that's becoming more and more available, which is AI. AI is something that the elders never anticipated. They never even thought that would be a possibility. Now, even people are saying, oh, well, you can't get a child out of AI. Now you're starting to be able to. They're starting to make artificial wombs too.
Right.
If she ends up looking like the chick from Terminator Rise of the Machines, then we will be in trouble.
I did a whole show talking about our AI X-bots are going to be the new thing for this generation.
I'm going to jump in here for just a second. We actually did this very same topic on my channel earlier today. And they already have AI that looks real. They already have it. It's out there. It's imitating things like influencers and OnlyFans. I mean, it's already out there. It's already taking money from dudes. Right? It exists now.
But they can't. They don't look real in person.
Not yet, but they are working. I mean, you've got relatively realish looking not sex bots, sex toys, which also can have an AI plugged in for voice or text to speech. So give it 10 years with Elon Musk's Optimus system as the skeleton and some more advanced stuff, and you'd basically have a vague simulacrum of a woman that you could date.
That's certainly a possibility that they're looking into, absolutely. But I think the bigger concern is the fact that there are still men who, even knowing that these chicks are not real, right, that they're AI simulacrums, for lack of a better word, will still flock to them as an alternative to actually going, out to the supermarket and maybe meeting somebody.
Shut up, Sam. My toaster loves me.
I mean, I'm not going to judge.
So, Samuel, are you saying that because of AI, like dudes are now going to spend more on them than the amount of zinc that they spend in facial tissue?
I'm saying they're already doing it. They're already doing it, and I'm saying that AI, one way or the other, is going to be the end of our species.
It's damaging.
Good to see you again, Amira.
I mean, who wants a relationship with a who wants a relationship with a doggone AI? It's not a real person. If I had an AI girlfriend, well, it ain't gonna affect men that much, because what do we need from women? Sexual gratification and companionship. That's it. What do women want from men? They want emotional attachment, but you're not gonna get that from no AI robot.
Money.
You'll get provision. Yeah, that too. I said provision. Yeah, you'll get protection. You'll get provision, but guess what? It's a freaking AI robot programmed to love you, programmed to service you, programmed to be with you. So there's not going to be really any kind of attachments to it. It's like watching a machine do what it's supposed to do. It'll be no different than you putting on your washing machine, letting it wash clothes.
I do not agree at all on that. Yeah, that's the best. It is a program.
The best that you can hope for is an oral vacuum cleaner that sucks harder than a Kirby vacuum.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Damn it, Will.
It look,
That's a very good point.
it is a bigger problem, I think, than you think it is, because like, yeah, it's a program. Even dudes who know that it's a program can still get attached to that. I mean, they get attached to these ethos, who don't know who they are. They think that strippers like them, and that's called a parasocial relationship. You can form that with a machine too, with a program, right? And people who are prone to that kind of thing, especially people who have been pushed away from, whatever it is that they whatever kind of society that they belong to, or people who have given up on women. I see manosphere types falling for this shit hook, line, and sinker in 10 years.
Wow.
What? You
100%.
serious?
100%.
That's because they're not using
I see.
manosphere talking points for the right things. Just saying.
I say 3.
I don't give up on women. I just don't commit to them.
Shadow?
Oh, I said I bet 3 years. Honestly, it only takes 3 years.
3 years of what?
3 years for what Sam was predicting. That it only takes 3
Oh.
years for the talking point to be get an AI girlfriend. Because if you're only if you're primarily living for sexual gratification, if you primarily live for sexual gratification, then an AI relationship is significant. If you can get the proper hardware developed, that provides a significantly better. What's a good word for this? There's more advantages to going AI at a certain point if you're just looking for sexual gratification, because it can fake being a woman well enough to make you forget for about 20 minutes, which is all you really need if you just want sexual gratification.
Oh my
And
god.
for most people,
If
I
so,
guess.
Shadow, if
I
someone
apologize for
before
being
you,
crass.
if someone before you has popped their cherry, that is someone you shouldn't marry.
You know what? I need to send Frost to the naughty corner. Frost, 1 minute. Look at the wall. What do you mean Terminator Panini is better than Panini?
I disagree.
He ain't lying.
Well,
I guess.
no,
I don't know.
I disagree, but Lyrian Jihad, read Dune. That's why we shouldn't be doing anything with fucking AI.
Yeah, think about it. Think about the appeal that this is going to have for certain dudes. You're going to have somebody around, like, they take this AI, right, and they put it in the body of like a robot shaped like a woman. It looks like a woman, feels like a woman, right? This woman cleans the house, she cooks for you, she never argues, she does exactly what you say, she comforts you, she listens to every worry that you have. She's always there for you. She never fights. She never pushes. She never talks down to you. She never contradicts you in public. She never does anything that men typically complain about with women. There are going to be a significant portion of the population who are absolutely going to sign up for that. And when they do
much is
that,
this?
guess what they're not doing? Making babies.
Well,
It will
we're
end our
making-
species. I guarantee it. If we
Don't worry,
continue to let
Sadie.
this happen.
What does
They're
that look,
making
Will?
gestation
Will,
pods.
you just look like, oh, I don't care. When he said it's going to end our species, you're like, so
Ugh.
be it. Will, really?
Hey,
Oaklandy, did you
okay,
see that?
that's
You
just
saw it too, right,
rude.
Oaklandy?
we just,
Kind of.
it's our fault. It's, free will, of course, pun intended. But that's something that God gave us. You can't force
He
it.
didn't say use that free will to do all this mess now, did he?
Seriously,
There
yeah.
will still be people who will do the traditional thing. So the people that take this course and don't correct ever, then obviously they win some kind of Darwin Award. But those who, I don't know, will just say stay on the farm and raise the kids and go traditional, or city people who are being rabbits, those people will continue. And then the guys sitting in their basement and the women also sitting in their basement with their virtual, what's his face? I don't know. I'm trying
If
to think.
women
Russell
crash-
Crowe, their virtual Russell Crowe or something like that.
If
Wait,
women
wait.
crash
Oh, go ahead.
into
Go
a
ahead. Will.
wall at a faster and furious rate before the age of Paul Walker, what can I say?
Wait, guys. I have something that Old Blindy brought up. Old Blindy brought up a point that Samael says it will be the end of our species, but it might not, Samael. It might create a society where only the alpha men are procreating with the women, and all the beta men get the robots.
So that assumes that there will be any alpha men left, and given it, like, you can't take this as a standalone
Shadow
thing, because
are
it's
going
not.
to
This
go and
is
repopulate
part
the Earth, that's all.
of
Then
it's
again,
part
the
of a
alpha
much
men are
bigger
gonna-
problem. All right, we've got mass sterilization, right? We've got freaking MAID in Canada. I mean, there are other things contributing to the deletion of the species, dropping birth rates across the planet, right? The shit that they put in our food, in our water, in our vaccines, for lack of a better word. I mean, these things, we've a record number of children leaning towards mutilating their genitals and sterilizing themselves. Bunches more who think that they're now gay. Guess what? Gays don't produce kids either. I mean, this is part of an overall thing. I'm saying that at some point, population is going to drop below sustainable numbers, and there won't be enough of us left to keep going.
And then to kind of expand upon Sam's point, even if you do have a portion of the population go, well, society's fucked. I guess we're going to break the social contract and make a new social contract over there in the woods, leave us alone. You'll find yourself entrapped making sawed-off shotguns. You'll get the wrong court date, and your dog, your kid, and your wife will be killed, and you'll be dragged into prison. Afterwards, a fat Canadian will say that it was based that what happened to you happened. I am, of course, speaking about Ruby Ridge.
When we drop more sperm counts than a clumsy worker who drops shells at a Taco Bell, that's when you really got to worry.
You know what? See, this is,
That's
Will,
why,
what
Will.
have you been doing all this time that I haven't seen you? Have you just been making a new list of things just to say?
He has.
Not really.
You have, haven't you?
Yes.
Oh, hey,
This is all
Carrie,
the-
how's it going?
Gary,
This is all the best work of ChatGPT for you.
I see. Gary, how's it going?
I am the Chat GPT.
No.
Carrie-
Let him run. Let him go. Let's see how bad this gets.
No, that's what we're not going to do. Carrie, there was something that you wanted to speak on. Can you explain to me what it was again?
Yeah. Had the founders foreseen the future, they would have written a very different Second Amendment. A well-protected public being necessary to the security of a free state, the duty of the people to keep and bear arms shall be enforced.
I thought it was shall not
this
be
is about-
infringed.
No, he's saying that it should.
What part of had the founders foreseen the future do people not understand? I'd really like to know an answer to that question.
Will was too busy thinking about other things like Taco Shell. I'm sorry, Gary. He's
The
distracted.
Federalist Papers kind of clarify what they were thinking. It's just most people just can't even define what the Second Amendment even means when they say, what is it, regulated? They try to redefine that word to mean regulated. Traditionally meant that the militia was going to be kept in good working order, and then they're like, no, they meant regulated by making laws.
Yeah, well, they
also-
also say there's no militia today, and I guarantee you there's a
That
militia.
too.
There's been 5 call-ups since Shadow was born. And 2 of them were in the last 5 years.
There's also the fact that a lot of people miss the historical context of the period and the wish
willful
of the
ignorance, yeah.
founders. Yeah, well, in the context of the militia was meant to be the United States Army. The founders
No.
only wanted to the founders only wanted to maintain an army or a navy and technically a Marine Corps because it was absolutely
No.
necessary for the defense of the nation. They
And it was
didn't
made
want
up
to
of
have a standing
people.
army. They wanted to have the states
No.
levy up troops whenever they needed them, because having a standing army would be an instrument of the state to potentially tyrannize the people. It was only after a conflict like the Civil War where mobilization was, rather ineffective mobilization by relying on militias cost way more lives than had they had a standing military, that you saw certain reforms that were reinforced by World War I and World War II. Though I feel like Carrie, who is a historian, is probably going to butcher my take on that horribly.
Not quite butcher, but I'm going to trim a lot of fat off of it. He's right. There was a
Bit off
very
topic.
minimal army from 1790 till around 1860. Every one of you that I'm looking at right now, and I am backstage again, is part of the militia. Your county sheriff can call
Darn
you
right.
up. Your county sheriff can call you up for an emergency at any time. Yes, get that smug smile off your face, Will. I'm talking about you too. I can think of at least one that all of you are sitting there. You're saying to, he can't possibly mean that. He cannot possibly be meaning that one particular day that you're all thinking of. Because I know Shadow knows what I'm talking about.
Red Dawn.
No. 9/11, Flight 93.
Oh,
When
do
the
you have to
passengers-
attack me personally like that, Gary? Like, why you have to come on?
It's
Good
not
channel.
personal. Exile, if you had been on that plane, I'm sure you would have gotten up to you and said, "Let's roll."
Do you think
I'm
that-
sure you would have said, "Let's roll."
Okay, everybody, I will protect you. I will protect you.
I
Pilot.
mean,
Listen,
best
Amira,
thing-
you
I promise I went to landing day at flight school.
and just bitten a heavy object. But no, when the passengers on Flight 93 rose up against the hijackers, hey guys, that was a militia. Yeah. Every time you hear about the hurricanes coming through, and the people, what is it? The Cajun Navy, I think, is the one that gets the most press, going down and rescuing people. Yeah, that's the militia. When Los Angeles caught fire back in late November, early December, and you started hearing about people, the Los Angelinos helping the firefighters out. Yeah, that was a militia. Your
Well, the best
county,
example is just here in North Carolina. There was
yes.
FEMA walked out, and really it was
Oh, God.
volunteers coming with, and then people organizing there, volunteers coming in with supplies. Some of the supplies were actually stolen. I think Mr. Gunzinger had his supplies stolen by FEMA, side thing. But the majority of all the people, what the heck happened? The majority of the people stepped in and created quote unquote government where they were like, okay, who needs help? And they had a tactical operations command, and they were organizing and they were saying, okay, well, this guy's got a plane so he can go deliver supplies to these people who are cut off. And they were doing all that. And that, as you say, would be the militia, where the people were able to take care of business themselves. They were opening up roads and organizing and made a temporary government made up of just local people.
But we can't have guns on planes.
Well, no, what they used was seat cushions
They use
and
boxes.
rolled up newspapers. The hijackers did. The passengers used seat cushions and rolled, because you can pull those seat cushions up. You're supposed to in the event of a water landing, and that makes a hell of a shield.
Right.
You're not going to get. You really aren't going to get through that with those utility knives.
Really push somebody over, knock them to the ground, and beat their head in.
You're not going to get through it with.
If you know.
Well, okay, so Shadow's knife would get through those seat cushions, but
Okay, I was
You
gotcha.
can't
So
fight
you
that.
mean like an actual box cutter, not just a
Gotcha.
little knife?
utility knife.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Sorry.
But most people don't realize the foundation of the Second Amendment doesn't start with the Revolution. It starts 20 years earlier with the French and Indian Wars.
A lot of the old G's did learn a lot of their fighting for the British, and they actually picked up a lot of those skills fighting against, I believe, the Indians and the French. And then when they turned against the British, later on the French did team up with them and supported us against the British. And a lot of those guys were old school fighters who really knew how to use a lot of those guerrilla tactics. And the majority of the military was just regulars who were not, if you will, SF of the time. But there was a ton of guys who were, quote unquote, SF, the equivalent of, who did a lot of very important things.
Yeah, the word you were looking for is Rangers.
Yeah.
Rogers Rangers, mostly.
Give me a second, guys. Give me a quick second. I need to host a little bit. Will, why did you grow your hair out like that? Are you trying to look like Keanu Reeves? Are you trying to be John Wick? What is going on?
I just felt like it. It was just, why not? You know, I went to work, grew my hair. Nobody said anything. I was like, oh, okay, maybe there's no policy on growing out my hair. I guess it started back in November during, what do they call it, Movember or something like that. I was like, oh, yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Will, if you let your hair grow any longer, you're going to start resembling Mulan, okay?
Whoa.
Don't do it.
I feel like that's racially motivated.
Hey,
well, at least you got hair.
Shadow.
At least you got hair.
Buffalo Duke is sexist.
Well, he does have hair. Actually, your hair is quite luscious. It's quite luxurious. You do have beautiful hair.
Shadu has nice hair that he hides.
Yeah, he does hide it. Shadu, how long is your hair right now?
Not as long as Will's, but longer than old Blindy's.
Are you sure?
Oh, Blindy barely has anything on.
I have curly hair. Like if I had my hair all grown out about maybe to here and then just get out of the shower, it looks like Eric Bana. Unfortunately, it dries, then it looks like Albert Einstein.
Damn.
Curly hair is not like what you think it is. Irish, German, Norwegian. But I got the curly hair from the Irish side, I guess. And if it's wet and gelled, I guess it looks pretty good. Except
I've
for
noticed
fun.
that guys have better hair and better eyelashes than ladies. And it's crazy because you guys don't even need it.
Eyelashes? Really?
Yes, eyelashes.
Are
Men
you
have
serious?
better.
No.
Yes, I'm serious.
Stop the cap.
Stop it. Yeah. No, seriously, you guys do, and it's unfair because you guys don't even need it.
We really don't. That's why I find it remarkable. At least y'all got hair. Shoot.
That reminds me of
Lucas says, "Will, you're breathtaking."
Oh my.
That reminds me of a meme I saw on Twitter the other day where it was basically it was like a picture of a woman and a list of things that she's doing to look normal. And then you just have a dude and he just hops out of the shower, maybe combs his hair, and he's looking the best he can. And
Yep.
I find that absolutely fucking hysterical. Absolutely hysterical. My French. I'll toss myself in the
Thank you.
Shut
Thank you.
up,
Dr.
Bridget.
Sam, go to the nutty corner right now. Right now. How dare you insult my choices and my family's decision? Okay? How dare you? Go to the naughty corner. Sorry, guys.
Shout out to your
crazy,
friend Rachel.
man.
How's she doing?
Oh my God. You know,
Oh,
her and
Jesus
Ross are
Christ,
going to
Will.
get married.
Yeah, how is your little buddy? Haven't seen her
Her
in
and
a
Ross
while.
are going to get married pretty soon here because Ross has been really salivating and drooling over her. And I think I'm going to get them to get together pretty soon here.
Offline, right?
Yeah,
Anyway.
they definitely it definitely sounds like they're made for each other since she is an ice queen.
Her nice. No,
Well,
she got a
okay.
mouth.
Fine.
I got a mouth on me too, so I don't judge.
Mm-mm. Ice and
I've never
Frost.
seen
I'd do it. But
What'd you say,
that's
O'Blaine?
insane.
You had her live or something? I've never seen her. I only know from the pictures you post and then just what you tell us about her. And I'm gonna
Oh,
assume
you should. Oh,
it's true.
Frost, you came back. I thought you were gone. Frost came back.
He said,
No,
no.
I thought you were gone, Frost. Sorry. No, Frost says, as long as she doesn't talk, we can probably make it work for a night. Shut up,
Well,
Frost.
hot damn.
No, he's right.
Oh, wait.
Rachel-
No. Yakub said something. He said we all miss Snow White. Did you guys see that the
Oh.
Disney edition of Snow White just came out and it
Yep.
has flopped so badly because Snow White isn't even white anymore and she's ugly. She has a huge forehead, a wide mouth. She's ugly. The new Snow White girl.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Well, previews of it.
So that's not actually why it flopped. It flopped because she's not been able to keep her mouth shut for the last 3 years and is kind of a mega cunt.
No, I know. That's the main
Man, the
reason.
story's bad.
Well, it failed for more reasons than that. Gal Gadot is the evil queen, so you have a I would say beautiful woman as the evil queen who's jealous of a not attractive woman. So already plot problem. And then you have lefties abandon the movie because Gal Gadot, as a Israeli citizen, served in the IDF for 2 years, I believe. So the leftists aren't going to go because it goes against their religion to watch it. The right aren't going to go because it's a bastardization of a traditional story. Dwarfs aren't going to go because Peter Dinklage picked the box up behind him and they replaced actual short people with CGI replicas. And then Rachel Zegler is just not a good actress.
I keep
They did everything they could.
Her name is Rachel
And the
too.
story sucks.
She's
She is
ugly. She's
more-
just not nearly as good looking as Gal Gadot.
That
Man,
too.
you just
I,
are
ugly.
Yeah.
I also have to point out, Amir, that's an excellent point. I have never met a Rachel in my life that I liked. Not one.
Are you kidding?
I did.
Nope. I'm dead serious.
Wait, so is Rachel a non-likable name?
He
I
might
think
be
it's a
on
karma
something
thing.
here.
For Sam at least.
Rachel and Jessica.
I've known a few Jessicas I liked, but I've never met Rachel that I did.
Sure. Well, now we know the name of Carrie's ex-wives.
No.
Oh wow.
Okay, one of them.
Says
I
Rachel is.
apologize, Carrie.
Then she
No,
talks.
that's fine.
You just had me relive one of my nightmares when you
What?
mentioned Rachel. So I pretty much messed up an intimate moment with a female when I was in a 69 position, and the birthmark in the interior, or not quite in the interior, it resembled the mole on Rachel Ziegler's cheek.
Okay,
Or-
so wait, so Will, so what?
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So
No, don't say it again. Don't.
yes, I'll say it.
No. We have the rewind button.
Please don't.
The pride
Gotcha.
can rewind and do whatever they want to do because I'm not going to go through that again. Let's move on.
Yeah,
Frost
well,
says,
I
no,
was just saying is
Will.
that the intimate location of the birthmark reminded me of
Okay,
Rachel
we
Ziegler's
said it, Will.
mole on her cheek.
I got it. Right. Okay. He says, how many?
It killed my intimate moment. Go ahead.
Can you? All right, I'm taking you off. Let's get Will up out of here. Let's get Will up out of here. All right, bye, Will.
I will.
Why did you get rid of Will?
Free
I
Willy.
know.
Thank you.
Free Willy.
We used
Oh,
to use that as a
That
tool
would
for
get
cleaning
that would
out
get her love
toilets
shut
in the
down if I
hotel.
did that. But go ahead.
No. Okay, so
No,
I
you
was gonna
didn't
tell
hear
you
what he said. He said free Willy. But go ahead.
can you stop?
As in the movie.
Quiet. I'm muting him. I'm muting all of you. I'm about to mute
Silly
everybody.
Silly
You're
Willy.
getting muted too. Shush. Listen, I want to tell you guys something. In Snow White, they said that they didn't let the prince save the princess. They didn't let him save Snow White because I guess they wanted to have some kind of feminist touch to Snow White. Is that true?
Yes.
Apparently.
Yes.
They
is
did the Little
absolutely
Mermaid
true.
film the same way, more or less. They had Ariel kill off Ursula instead of Prince Eric doing it.
Oh.
Spoiler, by the way.
Wait, what?
Was
But-
Prince supposed to kill off her?
Yes, in the original Little Mermaid, Ursula gets all big and skyscraper sized, and Prince Eric, like an absolute boss, hops on to a sunken ship that somehow still has an effective rudder, and gores her on the wreck of the vessel. Just disembowels her straight through.
Holy.
It's called ramming.
I
I like
thought
my description better.
I thought Ariel got crabs from meeting Sebastian on Tinder. But anyways,
Jesus
Let's
Christ,
get
Will.
Will
Damn
out
it,
of here.
Will.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep, Will.
Amira, if you want another example of old school Disney movies freaking slapping hard, not Snow White, Sleeping Beauty has Prince Philip, I think his name was, fight the devil. He
As one does.
fights the devil and wins.
How does that happen?
Because Maleficent, if you actually pay attention to certain like subtle cues, is basically just Lucifer but femme, just gender swapped.
Who knew?
That's sleeping. That's Cinderella.
No, Sleeping Beauty, not Cinderella.
Isn't Sleeping Beauty Snow White?
No, so Sleeping
No.
Beauty's the blonde one, with the three fairies.
But they're all. But won't they both sleep? Doesn't Snow White sleep?
Yes,
With
no,
poison apple.
yes, they both sleep, but Sleeping Beauty's whole thing is that she's going to be forced to sleep, whereas Snow White they just think is dead.
Sleeping Beauty, she's cursed to sleep for 100 years. Snow White, she gets poisoned and she essentially does die, and she's brought back to life by a magical kiss.
Okay, now I get it. What
I
how I not?
apologize for the miscommunication.
I don't know any of these things. See, I grew up on different types of things. I grew up on more red pill content. I didn't grow up watching so okay.
Have a
All
little
right.
sister. That's the
Aw.
solution to consume this content. Same reason I know as much about My Little Pony as I do. Younger siblings.
Sure.
Wait, isn't there
No,
a
you
thing
know
about My Little Pony?
Pony for other reasons. We know.
That's what I was thinking about, Carrie. Wasn't there a thing about men being obsessed with pony?
Bronies.
There are, yeah, yeah.
Bronies.
Yeah, that.
So what
There's
is
a
it though?
strange. It's
Show us
grown
the
men.
Yeah, it's a subculture of grown men who are obsessed with an IP that is directed at little girls, and this is also one of those things where certain kinds of predators have insinuated themselves into this group. So there's a whole bunch of nasty shit along with that.
There's also a surprising number of actual card-carrying neo-Nazis.
Well,
I didn't
wait,
think it was possible.
get back
I didn't
over
think it
here.
was. I saw Z-Lidge's comment. I didn't think it was possible that they were able to find an actor, or at least the Mermaid film was able to find an actress whose eyes spread wider apart than Bonnie Blue's vertical smile.
Christ.
You know what? It's kind of a thing. Now they keep finding all these princesses with these eyes that are like on the side of their faces. Why?
So they look
Not
like
just
hammerhead-
princesses.
To look like hammerhead sharks.
Yeah, they do look like
Yeah,
hammerhead.
There's also not princess film, but Anna Taylor-Joy. She was in The Witch. She was in The Northman. She was in The Menu. She was in Furiosa. But she actually led Furiosa. Also has that weird hammerhead thing. My guess is the new Harvey Weinstein just has a thing for women with eyes like that. Like that's the only guess I have with the number of them that have come out of the woodwork.
Really? So poor Harvey Weinstein, because these women are too much feminists to actually get down with the get down behind closed doors, don't you think?
No, I don't think so. I think they'll do what they're told. Just like Brie Larson was talking, and then she almost cost Marvel a fuck ton of money, so she immediately changed her image, and then they threw her aside the moment they realized they couldn't salvage her career. Most of these celebrity, if you've ever seen South Park, how you got like the episode with the Jonas Brothers, where they're talking the talk, and they're like, "We're not going to wear the purity rings. We're gonna stand up to the boss." And then Mickey Mouse comes in, beats the ever living shit out of the oldest one, and then they all start doing what he tells them to. They're tough up until the pimp walks in. 90% of these, 95% of these celebrities, the ones that are actually tough enough to do stuff, leave. Like Chris Hemsworth, he fucking left. He started doing independent films because he doesn't want to put up with Hollywood.
You sure it was Chris Hemsworth and not that other guy, Henry Cavill?
I think he's still kind of tapped in with it because I know Chris Hemsworth. He's doing Extraction. Like after he got done with the MCU, he's doing the Extraction films.
Oh yeah, okay, MCU. Okay.
Yeah, I believe. I don't really know how trapped Henry Cavill is because there's some. He's got.
Hey, he walked away from what is that? The Witcher, which I enjoyed the first season. But yeah, once I found out he left, I stopped watching that.
Yeah, that's the thing. He was a massive fan of the Witcher, and he got cast to play the main character. So it's like, yeah, and the writers were a bunch of shrilling hen feminists. Before that, he was working for Superman, and he was playing Superman, and he loved Superman, and the writers were a bunch of leftists with edgelord fantasies. So that got ruined, and then he got the role to play Sherlock Holmes. The writers were feminists. And now he's working with Warhammer Project and having to deal with a bunch of shrilling feminists.
I have
something horrible luck.
I have another theory for you guys. Here's my other theory, that Disney is starting to have ugly princesses because they're trying to disestablish or get rid of the beauty standards. So that's why they're starting to have ugly princesses. What do you guys think?
Well,
no, they're just trying to mirror reality of what nearly 70% of the women look like in the U.S.
without makeup.
God darn, Will, what is wrong with you, Will?
Damn it, Will.
I actually disagree heavily because I know for a fact in the case of the Witcher show, they cast the actress who played Yennefer. The casting director was on record stating, we hired this woman not because we thought she was best for the role, but because she challenged certain standards of beauty. I don't remember the specific wording, but they basically called her ugly in the best friend way of calling them ugly.
Who are they telling? Who is
it? The actress for Yennefer in The Witcher.
Which
here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here,
are you telling us that Will got it right?
He did.
How?
Will is intelligent. Will is intelligent behind all of the nonsense and the corny
Why is
jokes
this
and the.
hiding that?
He really is intelligent.
And breathtaking.
And besides the hair, the luxurious hair, he's intelligent.
That's,
this
that's
is
the
the
Keanu
actress-
Reeves reference.
Yeah. This is the actress they got for the character.
Hmm?
And
Who's this?
then this was Yennefer from the Witcher show.
Oh, yeah. The Indies. I guess she's like somewhat Indian or something. Yeah,
Yes.
I read about her.
This is the video game version of the why I click on a fucking image. Why are you pulling up an ad? Sorry, language. This is the character that they were adapting.
What
But that's
the
not a
hell?
real character. It's a drawing. Like it's
It
not
looks like a
real.
guy. It looks like a
It's not
guy.
real.
Now
Now the
bad
redhead chick,
image, but
I didn't like the race swap with the redheaded chick. I forgot her name.
yeah,
What is her name?
Frost,
The one-
Trist.
go to the naughty corner.
I'd smash.
But my point being, this may just be a bad picture, but you have someone who in the book and in other angles of the video game is depicted as a really attractive woman,
But
and
it's
then you
not
have someone who's
real.
mid.
But bro, it's not real. It's CG.
Right? No, I understand. I understand that it's not real, but I'm saying that the intention is to create something that is of a certain caliber of attractiveness, and they
Right.
got an actress who does not meet that. In the same way, where let's say we take for the example Geralt, the strong guy with swords. In the book and in the games, he's depicted as a bigger dude with a lot of muscles. If they got someone like me to play the role who would not capture the image of Geralt, I'd have the same problem. That's my point, where they actively
Thank you, Larry.
cast someone who doesn't meet certain standards instead of casting someone who fits the role. That's the point I was making.
I think Shadow would be a good replacement for Blade.
No, because I'm not black.
What?
Blade is black.
You sure?
Yeah, Blade is black.
I think he is. Yeah.
He's
He was
very
from
black.
was it? He was originally like a secondary character. I forgot what comic it was, but yeah.
I got some
Right, but
shoe
what's the
polish we could
translation?
fix that with.
I mean, hey, if I'm
Samael, go to the naughty corner right now.
hold on. If Tropic
Wesley Snipes
Thunder's on the
definitely made him,
table,
like really cool.
if
Well, Tropic
Thunder's on
Thunder
the
made
table-
fun of that though. It was
I don't care.
self-aware and he made fun of that.
Listen, if I could pull a Governor Northam or a Justin Trudeau, I'm fine with this.
Oh my god. You guys are nuts. Okay, all right. This is my last 5 minutes because I'm gonna go to 2:15. Okay, so my last 5
Yes, sir.
minutes. Is there anything that you guys want to close out with, or any final statements or final thoughts?
We went off.
I'll
topic.
save it for the next one.
No, not you, Will. I'm talking to everybody else. I'm talking to the sane people. Go, old
Okay,
Blindy.
now
You
you're
go
being
first.
mean to Will. Wow.
Old Blindy, you go.
Well, when it came back to the original topic about women, I was going to say that there's roughly 3 kinds that I would categorize, as you do have ones that are like, I guess, virgins or very inexperienced, and then you have the majority there's actually a surprising amount that actually are inexperienced and kind of shy, if you will, and then the majority are kind of, a lot of women are definitely like very what's the word, but they are selective.
Hoish.
No, selective, where it's like you date a guy and you are only trying to go for something kind of serious but not totally, or for the most part most women are probably very selective, and they are dating with the idea of trying to find your forever, or at least your life partner. And then of course you have a good portion that I think there's more of them with social trends.
So you're
the
saying
last,
it's
whatever,
levels.
20
You're saying
Yeah,
there's levels to
loosely,
it.
yeah. I mean, it's not black and white, but there's definitely the majority of women are going to be pretty normal. Obviously, it's going to be somewhat dependent on where you are is going to dictate culture to a degree, or there's going to be more of certain ones. So if you're in the Amish town, it's going to be a certain thing in certain states and certain regions. There's going to be a tendency. If you're in a Bible Belt, you'll probably find more women that way. It just depends where people come from and how their parents raised them. And then you get into certain places, they're going to have an overwhelming tendency of being like the women that you talk to on the other channel. Some of them. The ones you argue with.
I see. Hustler.
What's up?
Final thoughts.
Oh yeah. Nice to see you again. First of all, nice to see you again. Long time no see. And second of all, yeah,
That's a lot of
good show as always. And like I said, the OGs of our past generation need to understand that times are changing. We are changing because of technological advances. Society is just not what it was back when they were growing up. I mean, come on, they barely had the radios back then. Now we got what, Bluetooth speakers and stuff like that. We went from boom boxes to Bluetooth speakers over the last 20 years. So you can definitely tell times were different back then. Everything is different. So they're going to wake up or risk misleading this generation. Keep your old school mindset, but keep your old school mindset if you must. But hey, stay on task with what's going on in the modern era. Just saying. Because I'm seeing.
Thank you, Hustler.
Let me add this real quick because I'm seeing too many old heads giving advice to young cats that may have worked when they were younger, but it's not going to work in this generation. We need to stop that mess as well. I see them on these spaces all the time. I'm like, bro, that was all good 50 years ago, but come on, we live in a new age. Come on, man. Just saying.
The women are different.
Yep, they really are.
I'm sorry about that. Will.
No,
all right, let's move on. Shadow, he's
wow.
Come on, don't skip him. No, you got to go in order, but okay.
If I sacrifice my 2 minutes to
No,
speak
I was
to
joking.
Will,
I was joking. I'll give Will a chance. I'm joking. Go ahead. Will.
So yeah, Shadow Man, just if I were you, especially at your age, you're still in your 20s, right?
Yes, I'm going to be turning 22 next month.
Boy, you young.
Oh man, you have a long way to go.
Bro, I was 22 back in 2006. Wow.
Yeah, that's the effect I have on people. I am younger than 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, chase the bag. Don't even chase females, man.
Chase your goals, not the ladies.
Exactly. No, I was going to say chase your goals, not the hoes. But anyways,
fair enough.
Yeah, but dude, yeah, with your age, you have plenty of time. And again, you can even consider going overseas. Maybe you can find something. Maybe the grass is greener on the other side, or you can also say that the box is tighter on the other side. But dude, I think I wouldn't even try to mess with like a homegrown American chick. I know it's kind of a messed up to bag on them, but like now with immigration, now I don't know what state you're in. This is your chance. You have some leverage to keep some of the people in. But now, of course, you have options. You got more options than a quarterback playbook.
Yeah.
But it's going to start running out, once what is it? Department of Homeland comes in your town. Of course, pun intended when I say come in your town. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, at least it's not UN peacekeepers, because at least we know they'll be adults instead of what the UN gets up to. And in regards to my options, I mean, I'm shooting. One of my goals is to join the Marine Corps. So, like 1 in 3, 1 in 4 chance of staying in Okinawa for a bit. So, and then if shit kicks off with Russia or Iran, that opens up even more markets of potential. So, I've definitely got options.
Okay, what's your final thoughts? Is that your final thoughts?
My final thoughts is, Suka, please stop trying to get Amir to kill me. Please, you've been spamming that in the chat. Just give me mercy at least for another week, man. Please.
I'm with old Blindy on this one.
Wow.
Suka's trying to make me give an update on the marching orders, which I refuse to do until I've secured more ground on that.
That's your problem, see?
No, I've made ground. I've absolutely made ground. I just don't want to give a report at this early stage.
Okay, understandable. As long as you're making progress.
Suka could fill you in if he wants to. I'm not going to do it.
No, I want to hear it from you. Later, not now.
There'll be the time for me to say, okay. Hey, yo, because you said Suka can fill her in when he wants to.
Let's get Will up out of here.
No, I said you. I said you. I said you.
Will, I've had enough of you. I really have. I can only take Will in small doses, because this guy, I mean,
Will, I apologize for setting you up for that naughty corner hit. That's my fault.
I
Yeah,
want to thank the people who came up here, because I know many people are shy to come up, or their internet isn't as good, or what have you. But I want to thank you guys for at least coming up and speaking with me about this topic, because it's something that I'm very interested in. Because as you guys know, I'm very interested in America, the decline of America, the society, the change of norms, customs, and traditions, the lack of religion in America, the lack of shame, and the fact that we just aren't guided anymore. And I really like to talk to you guys about this. This is something serious that I'm always thinking about, hence why I'm always on different channels trying to talk about this subject, because it really does interest me, and it's something that keeps me up at night. So thank you for coming to speak with me about it. And Blindy, was there something you wanted to say?
Yeah, that's to the point earlier, like Will was just saying 2 seconds ago, was yes, chase the bag, but then of course, if the right one comes along, don't be like, no, I'm just not going to have the woman that's going to be in my corner. If you happen to find one that, next time we should actually do like a boot camp for Shadu or something.
Nah,
And
she's got to add value though. Like you can't.
yeah, she's got to be in your corner, and we can go about it, like kind of saying how we should go about chasing after a woman, whatever, and what kind of woman you should get.
Yeah.
And if she does pass all those tests or meet all the requirements, then don't be like, well, I'm too young and I just want to party, or I'm going to put that off till. Yeah, if you got a woman who's in your corner,
Yeah, you're
doing
right.
all the things,
Absolutely.
when you find her, don't pass her up.
I mean, part of knowing what you want is understanding what you don't want. You already know what you don't want in a woman, right? So let that be your blueprint for what you do want in a woman.
Thank you, Frost. I'm looking forward to it. I look forward to it.
Brainstorm.
I'll make sure that Rachel is here. Make sure Rachel shows up for you.
I'm gonna steal her from Frost, I think, probably.
Wait, that's why Rachel hasn't shown up yet. Rachel's like, come on, I want to go. Let me chomp at the bit. Amira's just waiting for Frost to show up. Then she'll snap her fingers, and then Rachel just.
It has to be the right moment. Shadu, everything is about the moment. Everything is about getting that right moment. Just like old Blindy said, don't let that right moment pass you up just because you're too blind at looking at something else. I agree with you.
I'm just gonna go up to her and I'm just gonna be like, baby doll, I can fix you.
Oh, okay. See, that's his pickup line, baby doll. Baby doll. He just grabs her by the back of her hair. Baby doll. All right. Good night, everybody. I'm going to bed. I gotta go night.
Salute to you, Amira. So dear to ya, more fierce than she.
Bye, Hustler. Bye.
Happy New Year.
Hustler. Okay, bye. Okay. All right. Thank you, Blindy. Thank you for coming up. All right, then. Guys, I appreciate having a panel tonight. It was amazing. I love talking to the Pride. I love having conversations and arguments and exchange of ideas. And yeah, I appreciate you all. Thank you all for hanging out with me this long. Frost, I can't believe you stayed up until the end. Thank you for staying until the end. I would have figured it would have been asleep by now, because Frost likes to go to sleep to my voice. So then there's that. Actually, there's a lot of you that like to go to sleep to my voice. Then there's that. I don't know if I should be happy about that or offended. I don't know, but it is what it is, and it isn't what it isn't. So thank you all for joining me tonight. I will see you all possibly sometime this week. We'll see. I have some things in my mind that I want to do, so we'll see. And if not, you can always catch me on Lapeef when I'm on Lapeef. Sometimes I'm on there on Wednesdays, sometimes Thursdays. So if you guys want to see me get dragged through the internet and see your lioness get called racist and a pick-me, and yeah, if you guys want to see all that, just join us on Wednesday or Thursday over on Lapeef. You guys can really get the hate crew going on me. Yay. So anyway, I will see you all next time. Thank you all for joining me, and with that, I yield my time. Good night, everybody.
Well, I say every day it's a getting closer to taking a bath with my fucking toaster.